Captain Marvel came out, didn't it? I haven't seen it. I mean, I probably will because it's a Marvel film and I generally quite like those, but I don't really go through any special effort to watch them. Until a high-def version comes out on Putlocker, then I'll give it a go. But while I've not actually cast eyes upon what's being described as a veritable shit show of feminism and piss-poor writing, I have been privy to the lead actress's racist and sexist rant at the Crystal and Lucy Awards before the movie's release. And what better time to respond to it than after the film's come out? Yeah, so I'm late. Don't judge me because I'm tardy, judge me because I'm white.
I am so grateful to be up here to receive this award.
Yeah, I mean it is an award just for women. From the Los Angeles chapter of the Women in Film organization, some people might call that sexist, actually, especially someone who's championing representation for all people in all things.
So I cannot thank my family and my team and instead talk about something that's really important to me.
Is it the use of upward inflections from people who talk for a living? That's right, get the rest of that Coke up there, Brie.
I'd like to bring to light an aspect of our industry that has risen to the surface in the last week.
Oh, she just got the drip. That's when the Coke you snorted trickles down the back of your nose and into your throat. It's horrible, but you gotta lean into it, you know?
It's an issue that's been bubbling since, really the whole time, but this issue has a solution that each one of us in this room can participate in.
Oh, okay, cool. As a straight white male, I can't wait to hear how I can contribute. Glop!
So earlier this week, USC Annenberg's Inclusive Initiative released findings.
Bloody hell, Brie, how many lines did you do? Stop sniffing, woman, you're starting to look suspicious.
That 67% of the top critics reviewing the 100 highest grossing movies in 2017 were white males.
Boo! Curse those white men and their jobs! How dare they be good at something literally anyone can do? Lock 'em up, I say!
Less than a quarter were white women, and less than 10% were unrepresented men.
Well, sounds like they need to step up their game, doesn't it, Brie?
Only 2.5% of those top critics were women of color.
Okay, so is that the fault of white men for working in that field, or is it the fault of women of colour for not working in that field? Ooh, actually, I probably shouldn't say women of colour working in a field. Someone got triggered by that.
So you're probably thinking right now, wow, that super doesn't represent the country that I live in.
Yeah, just like the NFL is 68% African American. Is anyone doing a speech on that? Anyone? No? Not even going to ignore the overused representation argument and turn it around to say it perpetuates the idea that the only way black men can contribute to society is through sports? No? No one? Okay then.
And that's because that's true. This is a huge disconnect from the US population breakdown of 30% white men.
Boo! Stupid white men and their existence.
30% white women.
Oh, that evens out quite nicely, actually. Sandwiches for everyone.
20% men of color and 20% women of color.
Okay, those are the numbers. So tell me, Brie, when does your campaign to get more women of colour working in sewers begin? When are you gonna tackle the disproportionate amount of men living on the streets? Can I expect you to give a speech on why more women should commit suicide because the stats just don't represent the population of America? Another sniff? She's off her tits right now, isn't she?
So why does that matter? Why am I up here giving you statistics?
Probably all the coke, Brie.
When I could be spending this time talking about my publicist, Lindsay, who I love, and thank you so much for bringing Jessie up here and making me super emotional.
Oh, a super emotional woman. That makes a nice change, doesn't it?
While I rattle off percentages of people.
Don't do drugs, kids.
On top of all of this, am I saying that I hate white dudes?
Well...
No, I'm not.
But
what I am saying is that if you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color...
A love letter to... What does that mean? When I make a video about how much I like black chicks, I get told I'm fetishizing them and I've broken the terms of the restraining order. And you don't make movies, Brie. You're there for a fraction of the process. All you do is memorize your lines and turn up on time. I mean, you rarely even smile. You remind me of Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones. Just miserable.
There is an insanely low chance a woman of color will have the chance to see your movie and review your movie.
Well, no, they can review your movie. Rotten Tomatoes has that bit for audience reviews, doesn't it? And how is being black gonna stop them from going to the cinema or buying a DVD? And why, now this is an important one, why do you think someone would give a different review based on their race? A shit film is a shit film, and shit is the same colour all around the world. In humans, anyway. Well, mostly. Varying shapes, though. Diversity. Yeah, you got a clap, haven't you? I mean, there are cameras. I bet the producer was screaming into the cameraman's ear, going, "Focus on a black guy, Steve. It doesn't matter who, just find one, now."
And this is also not to mention...
Yeah, here you are, about to mention it.
Other people besides white dudes like Star Wars and would love the opportunity to do a set visit.
For the older films, sure. I mean, no one, regardless of creed or colour, enjoyed the Solo movie. Which is a shame because it must have taken a lot of effort to take Jar Jar Binks out of the crosshairs.
And I'm also saying I don't hate white dudes.
That's the second time you've said that. I'm starting to think you hate white dudes, Brie.
I'm just saying we need to be conscious of our bias and do our part to make sure that everyone is in the room.
You're accepting an award from the Women in Film organisation, which, as the name might suggest, is just for women. How are you arguing about representation at the same time? That's like telling your friend smoking's bad while huffing down a deck of Newports.
Really sucks that reviews matter, but reviews matter.
Oh, so pissing off the white men that just so happen to be the majority of film critics is a strong move then, is it?
Good reviews out of festivals give small independent films a fighting chance to be bought and seen.
Yeah, but it still has to be a good film, Brie. You can't just make any old crap and then go, it'll be okay because one of the reviewers is a black woman. She'll have my back, I know it. Bloody hell, when did Western women start expecting merit and applause without putting any effort in? Just because you have the right to vote doesn't mean you should get other stuff for free too.
Good reviews help films gross money. Good reviews slingshot films into awards contenders.
But you're still forgetting one key ingredient in this supremely whingy recipe. In order to get a good review, it has to be a good film. Very important part, that is.
A good review can change your life. It changed mine.
Oh, that was awesome. Just gonna replay that bit where she expects applause but doesn't get any. Here we go. No one? No? Fantastic.
Our industry has gone through a major growth. Thank you for clapping for my good reviews.
I love that review.
It's like so excited to be like, yeah, that one time.
You have to laugh, don't you? I mean, she probably clapped because she thought it was the end of your speech, but you have to laugh.
Our industry has gone through a major growth.
Back to the script then, eh? Carry on, Brie.
We are expanding to make films that better reflect the people that buy movie tickets.
Oh yeah, when I went to see the first Avengers film, I was overwhelmed by the amount of Norse gods queuing up for a seat. I could barely move.
But they are not allowed enough chances to read public discourse on these films by the people that these films were made for.
Are you implying we can't enjoy a film unless it features people similar to ourselves? Because that is some kind of retarded, Brie. There was me thinking the movie business is a business, and they're kinda focused on earning cash. Sure, there's an artistic aspect to it as well, but that's secondary to the primary goal of making more money than is spent. Yet, according to you, modern cinema should contain the same amount of virtue signaling as a standard Riley Dennis video.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him.
Oh, for fuck. Now I have to go and watch that film to see why it was such a flop. Hold on. Wow, that was bad. That was like chewing on cardboard for an hour and a half. I know films based on books are notoriously hard to make, but it's like the director actually put effort into making it boring. I'm just thankful I'm not a fan of the book. Otherwise, I'd be here like Vito Corleone saying, "Look how they massacred my boy." But while we're here, and you're talking about representation, have you seen the cast, Brie? There was like 4 white people in it. Reese Witherspoon, Levi Miller, Chris Pine, and Zach Snuffleupagus. Far from the 60% white and 40% people of colour that make up the population of the US. So, Brie, it looks like you don't want representation that fits the shape of the population, do you? You just want to hit out against white men to raise your profile. And how's that working out for you?
I want to know what that film meant to women of color,
Any black guy, Steve.
to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial.
But why? Have you even seen the film, Brie? It's not about the struggles of a biracial teen growing up in America. It's about the universe and stuff. You're putting emphasis on race while talking about a film that's not about race, but no, we need more biracial teenage film critics.
And for the third time, I don't hate white dudes.
I mean, as you said, that's the third time. The only reason someone would have to say that 3 times is if they were trying to cover up the fact that they hate white dudes. And for someone who apparently doesn't, you sure do hate white dudes, don't you?
These are just facts. These are not my feelings. And I'm really sorry, Lindsay. Please don't kill me.
Oh, do it, Lindsay. And they aren't facts, Brie. They are actually your feelings. Lots of people get them mixed up nowadays, though, so don't be hard on yourself.
As some of you know, I immediately jumped onto Frances's brilliant words, inclusion rider, and this was way before she had bumper stickers for her iPad.
What? But iPads don't even have bumpers. Those are for cars, Brie.
Because I know that this means that my work will be shown, digested, discussed by a variety of people, not just a singular perspective.
Since when has skin colour determined perspective? Well, since around 2016, but for those of us who aren't trying to make a career out of being a victim, that's never been a thing. I know it's fashionable to hate on white guys right now, but that won't last long, Brie. What will last, however, is your speech delivered to all these people and spread across the internet. That will probably last longer than your career. In many years to come, this will likely be treated in the same way as Kevin Hart's tweets. At least I hope so.
I want to know what my work means to the world, not a narrow view.
Quite odd, considering your narrow view of the world. Make a shit film? White people's fault. It's like you win one Oscar and all of a sudden you become a paradigm of virtue. Why can't they just accept their award, thank their family, and fuck off? You know, I started this video expecting nothing, and somehow I'm still disappointed. Thanks for watching, guys. Please consider becoming a patron so I can become a black female movie critic. And check me out on BitChute, otherwise you're racist. The links are in the description, and remember, shut up, Brie. You're named after a cheese.